I looked at your lists again while I was changing, and they were obviously not sober when they signed these things.
No one was sober.
Oh, when I walked by the hub earlier, I heard in Deb's voice, distinct voice, men's club, and I stopped, opened the door.
This is the foundation to QLA.
Yeah, men's club that he was going to go to and I said, "Is this a titty bar, men's club?" And he said, "No, a cigar." What'd you say?
It's a cigar lounge followed by a titty bar.
Followed by a titty bar.
That's a sophisticated titty.
But we stopped at the cigar lounge.
Well, they've got him in Edinburgh, I'm told. I'm told.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm being loyal to your group.
Ross, don't you have any words of wisdom for us?
Not at the moment. I was daydreaming about the titty bar.
I took a class, I needed 4 units of A, so I took this class many years ago, the Psychological and Anthropological Foundations of Education. And one of the subject matters that we discussed over a year was titty bars. And this is just at the beginning. This was 1970. This was just at the beginning, at least in Southern California, where they had bottomless bars. They've had topless bars a long time. But the laws changed, so they had bottomless bars. So the girls weren't wearing bottoms. And so we had this classroom, had about, 300 in it. And so it was taught by 2 PhDs. And they took a vote. Do you want an A or a B or just a complete? So I'm sitting there, I wasn't paying attention, kind of half asleep, because I probably had a hangover from the night before. And I realized what they're doing, and so I jumped up and I ran down to the bottom of the amphitheater. And I said, "Professors, would you give us a few minutes? We need to discuss this." So the 2 professors walked out of the room. I needed 4 units of A to graduate with honors. A, not B, and certainly not incomplete. And so I'm ranting and raving, running back and forth and telling these kids, we're voting for our grade here. This is not a democracy. And if anybody votes for anything other than A, I'm going to see you after the vote. So the professors come back in, and it was unanimous. One abstained. It was unanimous to get an A. And so the next time I showed up for class was the final, which was about 5 months later. But the kids had to think about it. So that was the beginning of the end, I believe, of snowflakiness. And how can we get an A if we don't do any work? And I would rather take an incomplete. And they had these kind of debate until I went around and had a word with them that we're not interested in their opinions. The last thing we need is an opinion. Just as you will be telling your boards, the last thing we need is a fucking strategy. What we need is a fucking deal, not a fucking strategy. And the name of the guy at IBM who left American Express that I couldn't think of the other day was Lou Gessner. I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, he was in Nabisco, right?
Yeah.
He turned around IBM.
Yeah.
And he wrote a book, Elephants Can Fly.
Elephants.
About his experience in IBM.
I thought that was a joint venture book between Anelli and Ross. Elephants Can Fly.
Probably they co-authored the book with Lou.
No, we'll be releasing a couple of
They co-authored with Lucas.
called Ebony and Ivory.
As you well know, this is our 4th hardcore graduation. We tried it once in October, didn't work out, so they will be forevermore during the holiday season. And we normally try to keep it at around 20. We had a couple of dropouts, and so there's 18 graduates. And it's not often that we're blessed with a Hall of Famer. And this group was blessed with Marcus, who you spent the last several days with, telling his side of the story. But not normally do we have the Hall of Famers come. We've also blessed with this group with James Goins from Bumfuck, Tennessee. Just recently discharged from the United States Air Force Thank you for your service, James. And now a student at Penn, University of Penn, where President Trump and amongst many other luminaries. We also have a couple other active duty currently getting ready to get out. We want to thank Lieutenant Commander Sauer for his service, and Jacob, who is with the Defense Force of Israel, who I believe is still in the reserves and it gets deployed from time to time. And he wasn't going to be here because you were going to be fighting somebody someplace, and then all of a sudden it changed, right?
My guy is right now on the border with Egypt.
Okay.
He released me for 2 hours.
Okay. But anyway, and thank him for his service. And obviously everybody else that has served. It's not like you're going to serve again now to go into the military. But so this was an unusual group in that we had a Hall of Famer, who I've known 8 years, who they didn't even recognize your picture in the Hall of Fame because you don't look that way anymore. And Deb, who's normally a diplomat, she said, "Is this your pay price to action that that you've aged?" Or you said it nicer than that, but that was the main point. And but the bottom line is from the last one of the bottom lines is from the last hardcore, as you've already seen, 19 transactions happened in 11 months subsequent to the hardcore. And actually it's 21 now because 2 more happened subsequent to their last Zoom call, which is about a month ago. Different people work at different paces. Some come out like a jackrabbit, like Simon the Bell, and it took him 2.5 years to close that huge transaction, which he got paid for in a tranche. Some get deals done in a matter of months, and some guys and gals get done longer. The point is that most people that have come out of the hardcore use it as a launching pad. And I have the signed document, to the extent that it's a document, of your commitments as to what you're going to do going forward. And as Marcus, to the point, tonight, in the last 30 minutes or 20 minutes, he says, "What are we going to do, Mr. Peña? What should we do? What do you recommend we do starting now?" Now, Marcus, who's already on the Hall of Fame, asked me. You could have asked me, but there's a reason why he's on the Hall of Fame, looking older now than the picture. But when I don't have my glasses on, you look just as young. I have to put although I can see more of your forehead now, but I mean, I'd have to put my glasses on to see any difference. But we had a lot of very successful people come through the program. And although money's not everything, it's the only fucking thing anybody counts. I don't know of anything, although we were talking about scars and I guess we were talking about vasectomies or whatever you were talking about earlier. But for the most part, it's the only thing anybody counts. And it's how you make a mark in the world. Go out and change 1 billion lives and you become a billionaire easily. And then for those of you, and I don't believe there's too many tree huggers in the group, but for those of you that are tree huggers, then you take that money and you go out and save the world. So we are going to enter into the ceremony of giving you your diplomas, also known as... Now, we have completed all these days. Now we're standing up, poke fun at some of the other guys that are attempting to pass on knowledge to other people. With the readjustment of the economy in the last few days, you have even a greater opportunity to put forth and make QLA work for you as an individual and as selfishly as a model that I know works. It works better in sideways to shitty markets than it does in up markets. It's worked great the last 7 or 8 years, 10 years, and it's going to work even better. Remember, you're part of a system. This is slightly blowing smoke at my own butt, of a system that's created millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions, tens of billions, and hundreds of motherfucking billions. There's no other system around alive that's ever been. Moses, me, Mandela, Christ, That's how it is. Okay? So now go out and rip their fucking heads off and shit down their fucking necks and make money, 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 money.